What's up, comic fans? And it's time for that new comic book day haul plus review. So we're gonna get into the books from this week. We got some 50 centers, we got some Jay Lee books, and then we got some Sleepwalker from the 90s. So we're doing some Marvel 90s books, and we're gonna get into all those books, the 50 centers plus the new books, right after this. Welcome back. All right, let's get into it. Let's start off with those 50 centers. So we usually do themes. This week I had two Namor books that I wasn't sure if Submariner books that I wasn't sure if I covered in a previous video, but they're both Jay Lee covers, so we're gonna get into those. Plus, we got the Sleepwalker from the 90s. Really interesting character, or weird character. Really weird character? I don't know. All right, so let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's start off the bat. We got Namor, the Savage Namor, or the Savage Submariner. Issue number 26. This is a Jay Lee cover. And let's see. There's this there was a Marvel Master Trivia or Marvel Master Vision trivia game inside of the comics. So you have to call and answer some questions. I think I played it. I'm not sure. It was a while ago. Here's a splash page. I always like looking for the splash pages from the 90s. You got 90s art. Obviously, like I said, we got the Jay Lee cover. So if you're a big Jay Lee fan, you have that. But that's pretty much it. Let's see. We'll do one more scene out of the book. All right, and yeah, Jay Lee on the cover and Bob Wyachik on the inks. Jay Lee on the pencils. So this, I believe, this was Jay Lee's actually first comic for Marvel, interior and cover. And then we have issue number 27. Trying to see who worked on issue number 27. Apparently the Submariner was a little bit out of control back in these days. This is John Byrne book with Jay Lee as the penciler. So, yeah. I guess that's Namorita. He's got her up over the head, ready to body slam her. Let's see. I look inside. I haven't read this book, but I don't see the Submariner going too crazy. I don't know. I think they just blew it out of proportion. Nope, I was wrong. Towards the back. Get away! I think he just didn't want to be found, and they're searching for him. And he's just like, leave me alone. I'm just trying to be by myself with my thoughts. So, I don't know. All right, let's get into it. We got Sleepwalker. We got the holiday special, right? Because we are in the holidays. This is Sleepwalker number 1, the holiday special. Let's see, all new, all different. See, Marvel was even doing the all new, all different stuff in the 90s. And the art, I mean, the art was a little weird. Characters' heads were elongated. I guess it was supposed to be like a dream sequence. Not like a dream, but there's there's Sleepwalker. You know, it's supposed to evoke something that's, can it be real? Can it not be real? What's going on? But yeah, Bruce Zick as the penciler. So, and Tom Brevoort, who's, you know, renowned as a editor for Marvel, was one of the writers on this book, along with Mike Kantorowicz. But this was the holiday special, so not issue number 1, just the holiday issue. It was $2 back then. Man, what I wouldn't give to spend just $2 on comics these days. The Sleepwalker. Alright, and then we have, gonna skip ahead, Sleepwalker issue 3. We got all the guys on here: Wolverine, She-Hulk, Cyclops, Shadowcat, Colossus, Thor, Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, Human Torch, Thing, Captain America. So, if I remember correctly, I believe this was a dream sequence in this issue. But correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while. It's been a couple of years since I read that. And then last but not least, we'll end off with Sleepwalker number 5, Sleepwalker versus Spidey. Nuff Said. I think we've spent enough time on the 50 centers. But we'll just open this one up real quick since we opened up all the other ones. Hey, look. There's Spidey. And if you want to sell a comic, there's in the 90s, and even today, there's no bigger way than to sell a comic than to put Spider-Man in it. So, that was that. Alright guys, those were the 50 centers. Now let's get into the comics from this week. We're gonna start off with the indies. I didn't get any DC books this week. My shop, I believe, had like a little delay in the DC books. So we'll get the DC books when we get them. But we do have indie books. If you consider Image indie, Skybound, I mean, I guess technically they are indie. We have Transformers, number 15. Transformers. Alright, so the Transformers had a big battle with the Decepticons. A lot of stuff happened. Guys ended up back on Cybertron. Cybertron got shot across the universe, right? Shockwave and Soundwave managed to bring Cybertron into, you know, Earth's orbit, started stealing energies. The Transformers, with some infighting amongst each other, managed to send Cybertron back. Some of the Transformers stayed behind, right, including Optimus Prime. Some of them ended up getting sucked into the portal. Some of them just wanted to go back to Cybertron, right? That's their planet. Anyway, now we've got factions on both Cybertron and Earth, but Optimus Prime is still on Earth. I believe it's RC wants to find Ultra Magnus, who had like a freak out a couple issues ago, right when he was ready to go into battle after years of torture. Don't blame him. Ran away, so they're trying to find him. Also, Optimus Prime has to rally the troops, right? Because those Decepticons left on Earth are just going through cities and ravishing them, like razing them to the ground, just going in, blowing up buildings, stomping out people, just doing it, all to try to, you know, coax the Autobots to come out and fight them. But in issue 14, we had kind of a origin story for Starscream, and we have the return of Starscream. So Starscream has now organized the Decepticons who have felt betrayed, lied to, have felt like this war isn't what it's supposed to, exactly what they say it is, and feel like they've been used and abused, right? So we also have that happening. So now we've got all these factions. So we basically have Optimus Prime ready to fight the Decepticons, and then Starscream shows up, and they're all like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And those Decepticons just completely go by the Autobots towards the other Decepticons, and now you're gonna have a Decepticon on Decepticon fight with the Autobots stuck in the middle, and who knows? It's gonna be calamity, right? What side do the Transformers stick to, or do they just fight both sides, right? You have two factions now, and there's like and at the end there's a big surprise, right? You know, there's all these Autobots that can transform into different things, right? So we get a big one at the end, and when I say big, I'm talking size. But anyway, yeah, this book is crazy, but it's crazy good. And there's just so much happening now. We have infighting on both sides. Check out Transformers. It is very, very much not for the kids. Transformers. Gotta love the toys though. Alright, next up we have FML. This is issue number 2. I picked up issue 1. Issue 1 was fun. This is issue 2. Basically the main character of the story, at least in issue 1, becomes this horned, hairy creature after doing a ritual that they kind of found with his friends in a book that their mom had, I guess it was like a journal, had wrote. So anyway, issue 2, the kid's freaking out, calls his mom up, and she's like, whatever, and then she's like, you going to school? And the mom's like, so now this issue is kind of mom-centric. We're in the mind of the mom, and the mom's like, listen, as a parent, there are two things. There's two things. There's the things you can control, and the things you can't control. She's like, I can't control the fact that my kid's a hairy, horned beast. What I can't control is getting my kid to school on time. And that's exactly what the mom does, drops the kid off at school. Nobody seems, what's weird about this universe, or wacky about this universe, is nobody seems to mind, right? That we have this horned, hairy creature. And I think some of it is the innocence of that, right? The suspension of disbelief, right? We're plopped into a universe where they're normalizing some things that just wouldn't be normalized, especially in this other comics or in reality, right? But it's fun in that aspect, all right? The mom's going through some stuff too per day. Airplane door dislodges off an airplane, I guess, falls from the sky and almost hits her, right? She's on the phone. She goes into shock, but in an interesting way, where she visualizes the creator of the atomic bomb and, questions him about how he dealt with making, I guess, poor decisions or bad decisions or decisions that didn't turn out, the best. But yeah, I guess this book is fun in the way that it takes family values and takes family norms and is kind of turning it on its side and just discussing that. We'll see where issue 3 goes. I like it. It's quirky. It's funny. It's got a good pacing. So we're gonna pick up issue number 3 of that. All right, switching gears. We're heading off to Marvel, right? Because I don't have any DC books. But these have got to stop. I don't know. We're doing modern book covers, but what if Mickey and Friends entered the Cohen Age? All right, this is one of those Marvel anniversary variant issues with Disney. This is 60 years, celebrating 60 years of X-Men. This is House of X number 1. The variant cover, I guess, or homage cover. This is the homage. This is not House of X number 1. This is the homage cover to House of X number 1 on Amazing Spider-Man number 63. All right, and Amazing Spider-Man has been doing these covers for a while now. I pretty much have all of them. Maybe I'm missing one or two, but I think I've collected all. And it's really just, now it's getting ridiculous. Yeah, they just don't stop. So it's got to stop. But here is ASM number 63. This issue kind of backtracked off the action, if you will, and kind of put us more into Spider-Man and his mental. So the last few issues we've been dealing with Spider-Man fighting the Scions of Sidorak, still fighting the Scions of Sidorak, and those are the Sidorak's the dude that gives Juggernaut his powers, whatever. But he's got these kids. He's got 8 of them, and Spider-Man's got to fight each and every one. And every time he's gonna fight one of them, he's gonna die, right? At least that's what Dr. Strange says. He's like, there's no way out of it without dying. Anyway, yep, that's what's happening here. So Spider-Man fights this Scion that can travel through time. Spider-Man somehow manages to alert one of his other selves about it, future self, as they travel through time, and that Spider-Man's like, ha, gotcha, bam, punches this Scion in the face. the Scion is totally caught off guard, but that means the Scion lost, right? So the Scion then just obliterates Peter's mind with all this time traveling. Peter dies, comes back, whatever. Ends up back where he was, which was a meeting with his friend, Robbie Robertson Jr., I guess, right? And the forget her name, but the lady he's dating in the comic at the moment. But he's not okay in the head. He's not. He's just died 3 times. Each time he comes back, it's painful. How many times can you die and be okay? I don't know. Most of us only get once. We will get one death. We don't even come back. Some people sometimes come back. But anyway, Peter's just not in the right headspace, and that's kind of where this issue goes. We also see some future Scions that he's probably going to fight, just observing Peter, right? Because they're like, well, he's already beat 3 of us. Let's not rush into things. Let's hold back. Let's see what his weaknesses are and understand who Peter is as a character, right? Who this person is. So that's what you got here. You got a mentally unstable Peter Parker. And then last but not least for the books this week is Ultimate Universe 1 year in number 1. We got the spoiler variant cover of issue number 1 with the Ultimate Wolverine on it. Alright, and this is kind of like a Winter Soldier Wolverine. So basically the maker recreated the Ultimate Universe, left a few people in charge. Howard Stark, the Iron Man at the time, manages to kind of lock the maker away for a 2-year period, if you will. So there's a countdown on that. But before he did that, he creates all these I don't want to say countries, because each country, even countries are divided, creates all these principalities, all these territories, if you will. And one of them ends up being run by Colossus, Omega Red, and Magic. The Rasputin family, if you will. And they create this Wolverine to be their, let's call him a peacekeeper, if you will, but he's really just an assassin that they can mind erase, mind wipe every time they use him. And so he's just the perfect killing machine. But that is not the gist of this book. This